have a look at just those 4 questions that I'd given. We'll just quickly discuss them. Question 15. Last page ये था. अच्छा एक बार डिस्कस कर लेते. लेट्स सी 5 रूट 2 आ रहा है या 15 रूट 2 आ रहा है. लेट्स फिगर दिस आउट. सो question is find the transverse velocity at this instant for the particle at x equal to 25 pi by 12. All right, so for that we're going to use the formula. There's only one formula that you have for velocity of the particle, and that is this one. Velocity of the particle is minus v slope, okay, minus v into slope. That's the formula we have. Velocity of the particle is minus v into slope. So at this point 25 pi by 12, v anyways, velocity of the wave anyways is 5, so that's not an issue. This is anyways 5, but to get the slope, what we need to do is we need to differentiate y with respect to x, keeping time constant. Now this is already an equation where time is kept constant. Okay, this is a snapshot. This is how the string looks at this particular instance. Already time is constant. ये जो फंक्शन है यहां से मुझे स्लोप निकालना है at x equal to 25 pi by 12. तो वो कैसे आएगा? स्लोप of y equal to cos 3x at x equal to 25 pi by 12. So what you'll just do is you'll first find dy by dx. That's going to be cos का डेरिवेटिव हो जाएगा -3 sin 3x. चेन रूल लगाना पड़ेगा, है ना? cos 3x का minus sin 3x into 3, chain rule. So this is your derivative, and then this derivative at 25 pi by 12 is going to give me -3 into sine 3 times 25 pi by 12. Okay, so sine 25 pi by 12 is actually sine 25 pi by 4. 25 pi by 4 is sine 6 pi plus pi by 4. है ना? 24 pi हटा दो तो 6 pi हो जाएगा. This is actually 6 pi plus pi by 4. Sine 6 pi plus theta is sine theta, है ना? So therefore this is going to be sine, simply sine pi by 4. Sine 6 pi plus theta is sine theta. Sine repeats its value every multiple of 2 pi. 6 pi के बाद भी it repeats its value. Sine 6 pi plus pi by 4 sine pi by 4. तो इसका value हो जाएगा -3 sine pi by 4. In other words, -3 by √2. ये हो जाएगा स्लोप. स्लोप मिल गया. v पता ही है, v is 5. यहां से पार्टिकल वेलोसिटी आ जाएगा -3 into 5, -15 √2. The 3 is actually appearing because of your because of the chain rule. 3 is appearing. The silly mistake aside, I hope you got the idea. Simple है. Velocity पता है wave का, स्लोप निकाल सकते हैं एंड वहां से आंसर आ जाएगा. अच्छा हाँ, पॉजिटिव आएगा, माय बैड. -5 इंटू स्लोप. यहाँ पे स्लोप नीचे की तरफ है, तो ये आंसर एक्चुअली पॉजिटिव आ जाएगा, मेकिंग इट +15/√2. In fact, +15/√2 means this is in the upward direction. Because this answer comes out to be positive, this is in the upward direction. So that is your particle's velocity. Any doubt in this? Silly mistake aside, I hope everyone basically got the idea. सीधा साधा वो इक्वेशन से आंसर आ रहा. तो ऐसे, this is how this formula may be used in a question. Okay, so out of those three quantities, one of the three will be given. Sorry, two of the three will be indirectly given, and then they'll ask you to find the third quantity. Okay. Question number 19. I asked you to try at home. 19 कितने लोग का हुआ घर पे? A sinusoidal wave is traveling along a rope. An oscillator generates 60 vibrations in 30 seconds. Okay, good. The 60 vibrations in 30 seconds, 60 oscillations in 30 seconds means how many oscillations per second? All right, so let's divide the total number of oscillations by the total time taken. So you get 2 oscillations per second. That's your frequency. Okay, that oscillator ka frequency is 2 oscillations per second. What you can also write as 2 hertz. All right, so the frequency of that oscillator is 2 hertz. This will also be the frequency of the wave. The wave ka frequency is going to match that of the source. Okay, you're always going to match that of the source. कभी ऐसा तुम्हें दिखेगा नहीं कि तुम एक वो एक जिम वाला रोप को पकड़ के ऐसा धीरे धीरे ऑसिलेट कर रहे हो और यहाँ पे स्ट्रिंग जल्दी जल्दी ऑसिलेट होगा, ऐसा नहीं देखोगे ना. The rate at which you are going to move your hand up and down, the same rate the rope is going to oscillate about its mean position. So if the rope's frequency is going to match the source ka frequency. All right. Now, so we have frequency. Then after that, it's also telling us that a given crest travels 42.5 centimeters along the rope in 10 seconds. So given crest, a given peak is moving a distance of 42.5 centimeters along the rope, but it's doing that in 10 seconds. So then based on that, we can find the velocity of the wave. The wave velocity is then distance by time, 42.5 centimeters divided by 10 seconds. So wave velocity is 4.25 centimeters per second. So now you have your wave velocity and you have your frequency. All right, you have your wave velocity, you have your frequency, और यहाँ से lambda आ जाएगा velocity upon frequency. So lambda is going to be V upon F. Lambda is going to be 4.25 centimeters per second divided by 2 hertz. Hertz is basically 1 by second. वो तो कटेगा ही, and you'll be left with 2.125 centimeters. So that's your wavelength. तो इसमें बस वही indirectly F और lambda दिया था. This was an easy F and velocity दिया था. This is an easy question. और F और velocity से lambda निकालने को पूछा था basically. In fact, to be more technical, this is going to be your speed. So I kind of mentioned this towards the end of yesterday's lecture. I don't know if you guys were there by then. Maybe some of you left, but I added this extra note on page 17 where, let me just read that note. I said ki as omega, k, f and lambda, as these quantities are always going to be positive, by definition these quantities are always going to be positive. Because they're always going to be positive, the v term you see in these two equations, एक equation है v is f lambda, दूसरा equation है v is omega by k. The v term you see in both equations, that v is also going to be positive. So therefore, the v you actually see in those equations is not velocity with the sign, but it's technically the wave speed. It's just the magnitude of your velocity. All right. So in those two equations, v is f lambda and v is omega by k, don't expect to get the sign of your velocity from there. You'll only get the magnitude of your velocity from there. Okay, and that will only involve the magnitude of your velocity, because f lambda omega k, those terms are going to be positive. So naturally in that v also will end up being positive. So that v is actually speed. I may by mistake keep calling that wave velocity, but in reality what I mean is speed. बस velocity का magnitude यहाँ पे substitute करना है इन दोनों equations में. Okay? Any doubts so far? Two more questions have been given. We'll discuss that as well. ये इजी था, है ना? F दिया है, velocity दिया है, lambda speed दिया है, lambda निकालना था. What about this question? थोड़ा interesting लग रहा है ये. Is that the last question or is there one more? There is one more. Look at this question. Given f is 8 hertz, given lambda, k, t, omega and v. Sorry, find lambda, k, t, omega and v. Find delta and write the wave equation. Okay, let's try this out. So given frequency is 8 hertz, find lambda. In fact, मेरे हिसाब से ये ग्राफ के डायग्राम से ही तुम्हें लैम्बडा मिल जाएगा. Okay, we'll discuss that. Let's see क्या है frequency, ये सब देखते हैं. ठीक है. And Prithvi just asked me that when I'm done with these two questions, unless we see delta appearing over here. Question 2 में बता देता हूँ what delta is. All right. फिलहाल इसमें I have said कि frequency is 8 hertz, and I'm asking you to find lambda. Like I'm asking you to find a bunch of things, but to find lambda, let me read one of the doubts you guys asked. One of you said, sir, from the diagram we can see that the frequency is 5/2 hertz. ये कहाँ से आया तुम्हें 5/2 hertz is the frequency? How did you get 5/2 hertz? मुझे तो नहीं दिख रहा 5/2 hertz. Yeah? यहाँ पे क्या क्या actually दिख रहा है? If you see this curve, this is a curve of y versus x. Okay, this is the shape of the string. This is a snapshot at t equal to 0.5 seconds. Okay, and again, I didn't get what you meant by it's completing 1.5 oscillations. It's completing 1.5 oscillations in half a second. ये कहाँ से आया? ये diagram में नहीं आया. I hope you realize one thing कि there's no time in this. इसमें time नहीं है on either of the axis. And अच्छा, एक second. Do you mean कि ये string का shape तू मान रहा है ऐसा था at t equal to 0, ऐसा तो बोल रहा है string का shape ऐसा है at t equal to 0 and it looks like the wave has progressed ahead, and by progressing ahead the shape has become this. Are you getting all this from that? Wave आगे progress किया है तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि somehow वहां से 1.5 oscillations wave आगे गया and उतने में time 0.5 seconds हो गया. If you are basing all of this on that, okay, then let me tell you कि nobody is telling you to assume t equal to 0 पे string ऐसा है. I can take any instant I want as t equal to 0, and at t equal to 0 the string can look anyhow. It need not look like a sine function. It's supposed to, you know, it can look anyhow. The sine function can start over here. It can look like a cos function. So you can't comment. You can only comment about what you know at this instant. I hope you didn't take t equal to 0 to figure out कि 1.5 और कुछ तो oscillations हुआ and वहां से frequency कैसे तो भी निकाल दिया. I hope that's not what you did. Just think about that. Maybe when I'm done explaining this, I'll ask you to unmute and you can get that doubt cleared as well. यहाँ पे I have given you frequency as 8 hertz. I've just given you one snapshot. You don't know yet how the string looks at any other instant of time. You don't know that yet. But you can see something interesting over here. Look at this length being 50 units, 50 meters. Come on, if that length is 50 meters, what is your wavelength? कितना होगा wavelength from the diagram itself? So can you see that right now this graph has 5, what do you call this, quarter circles as shapes? I'll just call it quarter circle. I know it's not a circle, but let's say you can see 5 quarter circles in this graph. One wavelength is going to comprise of 4 quarter circles. एक पूरा period is going to comprise of 4 quarter circles, right? So then if 5 quarter circles makes up 50, 4 quarter circles makes up 40, as some of you are mentioning in the chat. Very nice. So 4 quarter circles is going to make up 40. So your wavelength, all right, from this, your wavelength is actually 40 meters. Simple ratio proportional, proportion say. This is one entire wavelength plus 1/4 of a wavelength. One entire wavelength plus 1/4 of a wavelength plus this extra portion, 1/4 of a wavelength. So 50 is 5 by 4 lambda. So lambda is 50 into 4 by 5. Here lambda is basically 40. Anyone has any doubt in how I found out lambda? I just found the length of this portion. Thoda symmetry say you can see and you can argue how this length is going to be 40 meters. Once I have lambda and I already have frequency, then slowly I can start finding other things. For instance, I can find the wave velocity. The wave velocity of wave speed is f times lambda. The wave speed is therefore going to be 8 into 40, 320 meters per second. Hertz is 1/second. Wave speed is 320 meters per second. What else am I asked? Time period, omega and k. सब आ जाएगा ना. Time period is 2 pi by, time period is reciprocal of frequency. So time period is 1/f. Time period is 1/8 seconds or 0.125 seconds. That's your time period. Omega is 2 pi by time period. Right? So omega is 2 pi by, omega is 2 pi into frequency. So that makes omega 2 pi into 8, 16 pi. That's omega. 16 pi second inverse. Radians per second. Yeah, radians, you can omit writing that as well. So 2 pi, sorry, 16 pi second inverse. K is 2 pi upon lambda. So that's going to be 2 pi by 40. This is going to be pi by 20 meter inverse. Okay. Sure, guys. Any doubts, please ask. So I'm going to repeat again how I found lambda. तो लैम्डा निकालने के लिए पहले तो मैंने एक वन पीरियड हाईलाइट किया इस ग्राफ में, है ना. सो यू नो द कॉज ग्राफ, दिस इनफैक्ट इज अ कॉज ग्राफ. यू नो कि वन पीरियड इज फ्रॉम ईयर टू ईयर, इसके आगे वो रिपीट करता है, इसके आगे मोशन रेपिटेटिव है. तो वन पीरियड comprises of how many 90 degrees, how many quarter circles, how many quadrants. So one period, I think that's a nice word, comprises of 4 quadrants, है ना, ऐसा 4 quarter circles. अब वो 4 क्वार्टर सर्कल्स कितना लेंथ ऑक्यूपाई करेगा वो निकालना है. बट इस ग्राफ में तुझे क्या दिख रहा है, ऐसे 5 क्वाड्रेंट 50 मीटर्स का लेंथ ऑक्यूपाई कर रहा है, ये ग्राफ में दिख रहा है, राइट. 1 2 3 4 5 quadrants are occupying a length of 50 meters. If 5 quadrants are occupying a length of 50 meters, 4 quadrants are occupying a length of 40 meters. Simple ratio proportion. And those 4 quadrants का length makes up one wavelength. उसके आगे रिपीट होगा, है ना, वो एक रेपिटेटिव पैटर्न है ना. तो 4 क्वाड्रेंट कितना लेंथ ऑक्यूपाई कर रहा था, 5 50 करेगा, मतलब ईच क्वाड्रेंट 10 ऑक्यूपाई करेगा, तो ये 40 मीटर्स होगा, राइट. Can't we actually sit labeling all these? Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, I'll just leave this on. And any other doubt in this section? जिसको frequency का doubt था, I hope now you're clear. Maybe I hope you realized mistake in whatever we were assuming earlier. Another is asking, so can we imagine the particle moving in a circle? I mean, you can divide it into 4 quadrants, but why do you want to? Oh, that'll be a stretch. Why do you want to visualize this as a particle moving in a circle? It is your sine graph. It's your sine or cos graph. It's a sinusoidal graph. You can visualize it whichever way you want. You can call this as a quadrant or a quarter circle. बोलने में क्या है, कुछ भी बोल दो. But at the end of the day, I mean, even if you stretch it and visualize it as a circle, I don't think, does it really help in this question? I don't think that much was even needed. With a little ratio proportion, we just had to figure out lambda. उसी में थोड़ा challenge था. लैम्डा एक बार आ गया, बाकी अपने आप वेलोसिटी आ गया, टाइम तो फ्रीक्वेंसी से डायरेक्ट, टाइम एंड ओमेगा डायरेक्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी से ही आ जाएगा. लैम्डा आ गया, लैम्डा के बाद के भी आ गया. Alright, so then everything fell in place. You could stretch and visualize this as a circle because we said ki you can visualize circular motion, SHM, to have something to do with circular motion. But then it's not really going to help going down that path. All right. So any doubt, guys, please get this cleared out. Get it cleared through this question itself. The second thing I think I was asking was, I was asking to find delta. So delta and write the wave equation. So basically what I meant was, when I was saying find delta, I was saying so I was saying find delta is like पहले इस पहले वेव इक्वेशन लिखते हैं और फिर वेव इक्वेशन से हम डेल्टा निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे. तो वेव इक्वेशन is, firstly what we know right now is this graph Okay, this shape, the shape that we see, the shape at t equal to ये क्या है 0.5 seconds. ठीक है, you've learned functions, you can try to write the shape of this graph. You can try to write the equation of this graph. The shape at t equals 0.5 seconds, basically y in terms of x, seems to be a cos function. We can say this is 15 cos, all right, 15 cos t upon, sorry, 15 cos x upon the period of the function, right? So 15 cos I hope this is right, 2 pi x by 40. है ना, 15 cos 2 pi x by 40. ये देखो, ये चेक कर लो, मैं एक्चुअली वो यूज कर रहा हूँ, 2 pi x by lambda यूज कर रहा हूँ. Try to see this. If I put x as 40, let's see what you get if you put x as 40. If you put x as 40, we are going to get cos 2 pi. I'm picking 15 from this. 15 is my amplitude. तो यहाँ पे 15 दिख रहा था. So that's how I know कि this is 15 cos theta. ठीक है? And फिर input में क्या दे रहा हूँ? I know it has to be a cos x function, but then based on the period, there's going to be some constant appearing over here. Based on the period of the function, there's going to be some constant appearing over here. Okay? So that constant is going to be 2 pi by 40, because that constant is going to be k. We know the function wave equation is a sine kx minus omega t. So I know x का कोएफिशिएंट is k, तो मैंने 2 pi by 40 या pi by 20 डाला. तुम भी खुद से डाल के चेक कर लो. If you put x as 40, if you put x as 40, you are going to get cos 2 pi. मतलब you're going to get 15. Hence the equation is correct. If you put x as 20, you are going to get, if you put x as 20, you're going to get cos pi. Means you're going to get -1 and minus 15 as a result of it. So the equation is perfectly correct. So all I've done here is I've done a little bit of maths. We have just tried to write the equation of the graph we see in front of us. We have tried to write the equation of the graph we see in front of us. है ना? We know कि wavelength 40 है. इसका wavelength 40 है. मतलब इस ग्राफ का जो फंक्शन जो भी दिख रहा है वो फंक्शन का पीरियड 40 है. फंक्शन when you are having a function like this cos kx का पीरियड कैसे निकालते हो मैथ्स में? ऐसे ही करते हैं ना, 2 pi by k is going to be the period of that cos function, right? If I put a number outside, we know that number does not change the period of the function. It does not change the interval after which it repeats itself. But if I put a number here, so we know accordingly, if I put a number here along the x-axis, the graph in a way shrinks and the period becomes 2 pi by k. है ना? Sin x का period है 2 pi. Sin 2x का period है 2 pi by 2. Sin 3x का period है 2 pi by 3. And so on. Have you guys learned this in maths? Sin 3x का 2 pi by 3. Sin 5x का 2 pi by 5. Sin kx का therefore 2 pi by k. Cos kx का 2 pi by k. So what I'm doing over here is, I already know that the period is 40 meters. I can see this graph repeat itself every 40 meters. So I'm saying 2 pi by k should be 40. If 2 pi by k is 40, k is 2 pi by 40. तो ऐसा थोड़ा मेहनत से मैंने एक्चुअली क्या लिखा, मैंने इस फंक्शन का इक्वेशन लिखा एट दिस इंस्टेंट. इस फंक्शन का इक्वेशन लिखा एट दिस इंस्टेंट. ओके, अब यहां से हम वेव इक्वेशन लिखेंगे. बट फिलहाल इज देयर एनी डाउट? चलो वापस I'll explain. Okay, let's explain this again. Okay, We know that it is a cos function. As you got it यार अभी पूरा मिटाने के बाद अच्छा and फिर भी एक बार I'll explain for the others. And so I cancelled UT term as it was 8 pi. कहाँ पे 8 pi कैंसिल किया? नहीं, अब तक ओमेगा टी गेम में नहीं आया है, अब तक मैं सिर्फ शेप लिख रहा हूँ. I am not yet writing a wave equation. Guys, please understand what we are doing right now. ये सामने एक फंक्शन दिख रहा है ना, you have learned functions in maths. तो जो ग्राफ दिख रहा है उस ग्राफ का मैं पहले फंक्शन लिख रहा हूँ. I'm writing y in terms of x. I'm writing y in terms of x. So I can see it's a cos function. I can see कि amplitude मतलब उसका extremes है ना, प्लस माइनस 1 नहीं है, प्लस माइनस 15 है. So I can see इसका amplitude कुछ और है. And I can also say कि इसका period कुछ और है. अब ग्राफ से I can clearly see that amplitude is 15 and दूसरा इस फंक्शन का period, the interval after which it repeats itself, वो मुझे ग्राफ से दिख रहा है 40 meters है. But then you also know from maths कि a function like this has a period of 2 pi by k. Okay, so from that we can get कि k is 2 pi by 40, which we anyways know. Okay, we anyways know. जब इक्वेशन लिखेंगे वेव का इक्वेशन, तो x का कोएफिशिएंट k ही रहेगा, वेव नंबर ही रहेगा, वही k रहेगा जो यहाँ पे वेव नंबर है. तो ये जो x का कोएफिशिएंट है यही चीज आएगा, 2 pi by 40 pi by 20 अपना वेव नंबर ही आएगा. x का कोएफिशिएंट होता है वेव नंबर. ओके, सो वैसा मैंने एक्चुअली शॉर्टकट ऐसा लगा के मैंने डायरेक्टली इक्वेशन लिखा था 15 cos 2 pi by 40 x. Okay, this is the wave equation. This is how the wave looks at one particular instant. This is how the wave looks at one particular instant. Okay, now we're going to try to write the wave equation. So how do we write the wave equation from this? This is something we did in the second class. Given the equation, given the shape at a particular instant of time, you can write your wave equation by replacing x with x minus v t minus t naught. So to get the wave equation, you have to replace this with f of x के जगह replace it with f of x minus v t minus t naught. Okay, so just replace your wave equation with 15 cos 2 pi. Of course, 2 pi by 40 we can start writing as pi by 20. x के जगह x minus v by t naught. v कितना आया? 320 t minus t naught. v into t minus t naught. t naught कितना आया? t naught is 0.5. That's how you find your wave equation. समझ में आया? See, थोड़ा, of course, this was maybe on the tougher side, but just showing you कि with this, writing the wave equation is always possible. If you can write the function of x, then replace x with x minus v t minus t naught, and you will get the corresponding wave equation. Okay. Now delta is technically the phase. In fact, I wouldn't maybe make this a question on delta. You can, I think this is fine. Let's avoid that delta question. Delta depends on how you write the equation. Do you write it as a sine function? Do you write it as a cos function? So my bad. Delta एक थोड़ा सा is a meaningless question है. If I want to ask you what delta is, I'll have to say find delta when the wave is written in this form. Right? So in delta wala question we can skip. Delta depends on how you write the equation. Any doubts in this? If you can check carefully. Ultimately जो equation हमने लिखा है इसमें this is the quotient of x is k, okay, and the coefficient of time is going to be k into velocity. So the quotient of time is going to be omega. So you could have, some of you could have also written that equation like this. You could have also written the equation like this. Pi x by 20 minus omega t. Omega देखो ऊपर कितना, you can even multiply these here or you can directly write 16 pi t. Okay? And then minus 0.5 into 20. So minus 320 into 0.5 into 20. In fact, ये आने कितने वाला है? Minus, I'm just opening the brackets. So plus 160 by 20. Plus 8 pi, which can be ignored. You can ignore 8 pi. Okay? So you could convert this to a sine function as well. But ये मतलब delta as a, normally people don't ask. मैंने I don't know किस जोश में पूछा. Delta normally people don't ask because delta is meaning as such. Asking delta specifically is meaningless. You can say this constant is 8 pi. You can say this constant is 0. It's not going to make any difference, right? You can even remove that constant and you can just write your wave equation simply like this. So all these forms are one and the same. All these forms are acceptable forms for your wave equation. So delta 8 pi 0, I mean, arguing over that is not going to be, there's going to be no point in that. Okay, so my bad. I shouldn't have asked delta. But this is how you can write the wave equation. Okay. And as some of you are saying, can we start directly with the sine equation? Yes, you can. You can directly start writing a sine equation. You can write a sine kx minus omega t. You can write that, and then you can convert it and make it a cos equation. There are many ways of writing the same equation. Why did I get cos? It started out as a cos graph. Yeah, I saw that it was a cos graph, so I wrote the function as a cos kx. If you start writing a sine kx minus omega t plus delta, you will take delta at the starting point to be pi by 2. Right? Initial phase at the origin is pi by 2. So then again, you will get this kind of function. Normally, I mean, the questions will be the other way around. Yeah, SI was trying to make you, that's why I gave you time at home to attend this. I was just trying to make you write the equation. Normally questions will be the other way around. So they'll give you the equation, and then from the equation you'll have to, interpret all these things, which is typically a lot easier. You won't find this type of question in a textbook or in the HCV or anything like that. So normally it's the other way around. I'm just trying to make you write the wave equation based on this information that's given. Okay? Delta shouldn't have been asked because there are many ways to talk about delta. Delta is not a unique thing. Got the idea, guys? Last one अभी discuss कर लेते हैं. Okay. So question was given this. So this is a little easier. देखो इस बार wave equation दिया है. Normally questions would be like this. Wave equation दिया है. Given the wave equation, find the wave velocity as a vector. Okay. Find vertical displacement. That sounds like our y coordinate. Find velocity and acceleration. Find all of these things at t equal to 0 for the particle at x equal to 1 by 36 meters. Find lambda, find f. Fair enough. Find lambda, find f. And when you're done with this page, then I'll go there. Okay. Now, wave velocity. Okay. So to find the wave velocity, remember I said wave velocity के लिए formula है omega by k. The first thing you just observe that coefficient of t okay, the coefficient of t is 10 pi. मैं इतना पूरा लिखने का जरूरत नहीं है, मैं लिख रहा हूँ for you guys so that I can present it properly. But quotient of t साफ साफ दिख रहा है 10 pi है, और फिर तुम देखोगे quotient of x minus 3 pi है. And then the minute you see these are opposite signs, okay, this is how I would suggest you do it. The minute you see that they are opposite signs, conclude immediately कि direction क्या है. That means velocity is along positive x. Very nice. Velocity is along positive x. वो conclude कर लो. ठीक है. फिर दूसरी बात ये है कि we know that the coefficient of t is omega. So it's going to be 10 pi itself. ठीक है. And the coefficient of x is going to be k. But k is never negative. So just make that positive. 3 pi. Okay. Mod of quotient of x is k. So omega is 10 pi, k is 3 pi. ये निकाल के रख दिया, ये भी है ना पार्ट 3 में काम में आएगा. In fact, we can answer part 3 in the beginning itself. So omega आ गया, k आ गया. यहाँ से wave velocity. All right. So wave velocity is omega by k. Okay, wave velocity is omega by k. Get used to remembering that. Normally you see में थोड़ा confusion होता है लोगों को. So wave velocity is going to be 10 by 3. 10 by 3. And the direction is going to be positive I cap. So ये आ गया अपना velocity vector. Okay. Wave velocity is omega by k. So basically it's going to be 10 by 3 I cap. That's your vector. Yeah, plus 10 by 3 लिखा तो भी चलेगा, है ना? It's one dimensional, so we understand what you mean when you say plus 10 by 3. The next thing is, let's answer the third question as well. The third question, lambda चाहिए, f चाहिए, they all relate to omega. Lambda and k. Lambda is 2 pi by k. K is 3 pi, so lambda becomes 2 by 3 meters, right? And similarly, frequency is omega is 2 pi f. So frequency is omega by 2 pi. Okay, time period is 2 pi by omega, frequency is omega by 2 pi. So frequency becomes 10 pi by 2 pi, frequency becomes 5 hertz. Okay, sorry. Come on. Okay. So that's how you answer the first and the third question. Any doubt in that? Then we'll answer the second question as well. Y coordinate, velocity, acceleration of the particle at t equal to 0, x equal to 1 by 36. इसमें actually है ना, इसमें values हम अंदर डाल दो. Let's start plugging in the values, and you will you get the other things. So, for instance, I know y x comma t is, let's copy that again, y x comma t is 0.35 sine 10 pi t minus 3 pi x plus pi by 4. Three pi x plus pi by 4. Okay. Now, this is, we are going to analyze everything for the particle at x equal to 1 by 36. Okay. So the entire analysis is going to be for the particle at x equal to 1 by 36. So when you consider the particle at x equal to 1 by 36, what does your y equation become as a function of time? It's going to be 0.35 sine 10 pi t put in x as 1 by 36. Okay, so it's going to become minus x को डाल दो 1 by 36, तो minus 3 pi by 36, ये कुछ तो minus pi by 12 हो जाएगा plus pi by 4. ठीक है, x को मैंने डाल दिया 1 by 36. Okay, do these combine? This in fact becomes 3 pi by 12 minus pi by 12, यानी कि 2 pi by 12, यानी कि pi by 6. This is becoming something nice. It's becoming 0.35 sine 10 pi t minus pi by 6. No, plus pi by 6. Now, what we have in front of us is the motion of the particle at x equal to 1 by 36. Note that this is an SHM. This particle is doing an SHM. If I want the y coordinate at t equal to 0, I'm just going to plug in t equal to 0. We know how to figure that out. But if I want the velocity, how will I get the particle's velocity with respect to time? क्या करेंगे for the velocity of this particle? This is all for this guy. Very nice. तो velocity के लिए उसका displacement को differentiate करेंगे. We'll differentiate. Velocity is actually derivative of y, dy by dt. How y coordinate of this particle changes with time. How displacement of this particle changes with time. So differentiate. Okay, तो differentiate करके क्या मिलेगा? 0.35 cos 10 pi t plus pi by 6 Okay, you of course know what it's going to be, plus pi by 6 into chain rule. तो वापस differentiate करोगे तो into 10 pi आ जाएगा, into a 10 pi in the end. This is going to be velocity as a function of time. Similarly, you can find acceleration as a function of time. All right, so you have all of this. Then we are just going to substitute time in. So acceleration as a function of time is going to be the derivative of velocity. तो ये क्या आ जाएगा? 0.3. By the way, this is an SHM equation. You already know how it works. Okay, we don't have to be surprised. A sine omega t plus delta becomes A omega cos omega t plus delta. दिख रहा है? A sine omega t plus delta is becoming A omega cos omega t plus delta. That's what is going on. This is like A sine omega t plus delta, the first equation. हर पार्टिकल SHM कर रहा है अपने जगह. उसका डेरिवेटिव we already know. A omega cos omega t plus delta. उसका भी डेरिवेटिव we already know. What does the acceleration in an SHM look like? Isn't it minus A omega square sin omega t plus delta? वो shortcut use कर लेते हैं ना. So directly लिखो minus, we know it is minus A omega square sin omega t plus delta. Acceleration. All right. Plug in the value. Plug in. Sorry. Let's substitute. So A we know is 0.35. Sin time का coefficient we know is 10 pi. And delta we know is pi by 6. बाकी अब बस values तुम डाल सकते हो. Okay, so at t equal to 0, you can see how y is going to be. देखो क्या हो जाएगा at t equal to 0. ये पूरा चीज 0 हो जाएगा. Y is going to be 0.35 sin pi by 6, sin 30 degrees. So that's going to be 0.35 by 2. Velocity, look at the velocity equation. Velocity is going to be 0.35 into 10 pi into क्या हो जाएगा t0 डालने पे cos pi by 6. A omega cos pi by 6. Cos pi by 6, allow me to directly write that, root 3 by 2. You don't have to break your head over this calculation. These are two irrational numbers. Leave them the way they are. It looks nice. So 3.5 pi root 3 ऐसा. Okay? And similarly, your acceleration is going to be minus. Minus is just going to tell you the direction. Okay? So for the magnitude, you can ignore that. Minus, again, 0.35. So that's amplitude. And then we have omega square. And again, we have sine, look at that. Acceleration के लिए t0 डालोगे तो sine pi by 6. Right? So we basically have sine pi by 6, again half. Into half. Minus omega square times y का आंसर. समझ में आया क्या किया यहाँ पे? Yes, yes. So V positive आया means it is along positive y-axis. Acceleration negative आया means this is along the negative y-axis. So particle is above the mean position. So according to what you know from an SHM, its acceleration must be downwards. Should be directed towards the mean position. Yeah, sure. So let's recap this, okay, once more. So क्या है? I am giving you an equation. Okay, ये क्वेश्चन का फर्स्ट दो पार्ट वगैरह इजीली निकल गया. लैम्डा वेलोसिटी वगैरह सब इक्वेशन से ही दिख जाएगा. हाउ डू आई फाइंड पार्टिकल वेलोसिटी at a given instant of time and particles acceleration? So for that you need the particles displacement as a function of time. तो जिस पार्टिकल का डिस्प्लेसमेंट चाहिए ना वो पार्टिकल इधर सब्स्टिट्यूट कर लो. कौन सा पार्टिकल था? x इक्वल टू 1/36 वाला पार्टिकल था. तो वो x मैंने सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो वो -π/12 हो गया डालने पे. और फिर ये पूरा सा इक्वेशन ऐसा हो गया. अब ये एक्सपेक्टेड था. क्या दिख रहा है हमें आंख के सामने? व्हाट इज माय पार्टिकल डूइंग? इट्स परफॉर्मिंग एन SHM, राइट? that is the definition of what, that's the basics of what goes on in a wave. Each particle is performing in an SHM. So no doubt अपना 1/36 वाला पार्टिकल भी SHM परफॉर्म कर रहा है. मैंने यहाँ पे नीचे SHM का इक्वेशन लिखा so that you can see the parallel. A is 0.35, omega is 10 pi, delta is pi by 6. ये SHM का इक्वेशन की तरह. तो वेलोसिटी निकालने के लिए या तो तुम dy/dt निकाल दो फ्रॉम द बेसिक्स, या you can also just recollect कि यार ये तो SHM कर रहा है मतलब वेलोसिटी a ओमेगा cos ओमेगा t plus delta होगा. a 0.35 ओमेगा 10 pi and cos ओमेगा t plus delta, वो अपना वेलोसिटी का इक्वेशन हो गया. And acceleration SHM में कैसे निकालते हो? Again, you can further differentiate velocity by applying chain rule, or you can use the shortcut. In an SHM, acceleration is minus omega square times whatever the displacement is. So minus omega square times whatever the displacement is. I think I missed writing that omega square. I think that may have caused confusion. I missed writing omega square. Omega had 10 pi. तो माइनस 0.35 10 पाई का स्क्वायर इंटू साइन ओमेगा टी प्लस डेल्टा. तो हम सारे इक्वेशंस हैं ऐसा. y के इक्वेशन से तुम्हें वेलोसिटी और एक्सेलरेशन आएगा. y कोऑर्डिनेट ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर पार्टिकल इज डूइंग एन SHM, तो यू शुड बी कंफर्टेबल विद एन SHM. SHM का इक्वेशन से वेलोसिटी होता है a ओमेगा cos ओमेगा t प्लस डेल्टा एंड एक्सेलरेशन होता है माइनस a ओमेगा स्क्वायर sin ओमेगा t प्लस डेल्टा. अब t इक्वल टू 0 पे स्पेसिफिक y d और a चाहिए था तो I plugged in t equal to 0, wherein all these terms actually became 0. So it was just sine 30, cos 30 and sine 30 again. So that's why we have half root 3 by 2 and half. You got the idea? Okay, cool. All right, so based on this, of course, I'm going to give you some questions from your HCV. I think it's the first 13 questions or something, I'll confirm. But they're going to be a lot easier. Okay, it's going to be more like question 1 and question 3. You're given an equation, and according to the equation, you need to figure out velocity, lambda, and all of that. But then I would just say, like, some of these questions, they help you understand what's going on. What one particle is doing. How substituting x, I can see what that particle is doing with time. And it turns out what that particle is doing with respect to time is a simple harmonic motion. तो वहां से velocity, वहां से acceleration सब निकल के आ सकता है. अच्छा, one of you is asking me, sir, for net velocity, we'll take resultant of wave velocity and this velocity. No, because in no sense do they make it doesn't make sense to add those two. तुम्हारा पार्टिकल मूव कर ही नहीं रहा है वेव के डायरेक्शन में. वेव वेलोसिटी एक अलग सा चीज है. इट्स दैट इल्यूजन कि समथिंग, द डिस्टर्बेंस इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स द राइट, एंड पार्टिकल का वेलोसिटी है सिर्फ वाई डायरेक्शन में. पार्टिकल ओनली मूव्स अप एंड डाउन. So kabhi they are two very different independent things. You will not club them. Particle ka velocity is only that y wala, and wave velocity is only that constant thing towards the right. Okay, So with this, we are actually going to now derive our wave velocity. तो इसका थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग डेरिवेशन है. Okay, थोड़ा we'll have to visualize things in this. So imagine this is our axis, x and y axis, and imagine our wave is like this. Okay, and imagine our wave is traveling with some velocity v towards the right. Okay, this is our wave velocity. Now imagine there is this boy. Okay, so there's this guy with eyes who is moving along the wave with the velocity v, and he is analyzing the motion of the wave. He's analyzing the string. Okay, notice that I'm going to keep this velocity as constant. Okay, v is constant. So the boy is moving with the constant velocity, and now we're going to go and analyze this the whatever the string seems to be doing. We're going to analyze that from the boy's frame of reference. Okay, so now in the boy's frame, note that before I do anything further, note that this is an inertial frame. This is inertial. Why is it inertial? Yeah, because the boy is moving with constant velocity. Right? Because it's moving at constant velocity, there's going to be no pseudo force. Okay, whatever we analyze in this frame, this is not a weird frame. इसमें इस फ्रेम का एक्सेलरेशन नहीं है, तो इस फ्रेम से आराम से न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ लगा सकते हैं. There's going to be no need to insert any kind of pseudo force. Okay, it's a simple, straightforward frame moving at the velocity v. But now, from this frame of reference, can you visualize what will you see the string do from this frame? Yeah, very nice. So the wave will appear to be frozen in a way. It will appear to be as if you have taken a snapshot of the wave. The wave will no longer propagate forward because wave जो भी velocity से जा रहा था, ये बंदा उतने ही velocity से जा रहा है. So because they are both going at the same velocity, this peak, none of the points will be actually moving forward. And none of the, by points I mean the crests and the troughs will not move forward in this frame. The crests and troughs will stay stationary. Okay? These will stay stationary. So according to this guy, the shape of the string is going to be stationary. But what else will he observe? Will he observe the particles to be stationary? But can you guys think of that? Will he observe the particles to be stationary? Very nice. He'll observe the particles to move behind, because imagine if I color this yellow dot, eventually by the time the guy reaches here, उसको क्या दिखेगा? उसको दिखेगा कि yellow dot उसके पास आ गया. If I color one particular particle, this guy is continuously moving towards that particle. And remember, the particle is not going away. Particle is at that fixed x coordinate. So by the time the person reaches that x coordinate, उसके frame में उसको क्या दिखेगा? वो particle ultimately उसके x coordinate तक आया है, ऐसा उसको दिखेगा, ऐसा उसको लगेगा. But how is the particle going to come to this guy if, according to this guy, the shape of the wave is not moving? So then, can you visualize what's going to happen? It's quite interesting. If the shape of the wave is not going to change in this frame, and still that colored particle has to eventually reach this guy, that means, you know what this guy will observe? He'll observe that colored particle move on this track as though the track is a roller coaster, and he'll see the particle come to him like this. So in fact, he's going to, if I color all these particles, सबका motion वो वैसा दिखेगा. All particles will seem to move along this track like it's a roller coaster, and all particles will be seen to move. दो चीज का combination है. एक तो they'll move behind because this guy is moving forward. एक तो वो हो रहा है, और दूसरी बात है कि they also have to be along the string, and the string is now going to appear fixed in space. It's going to not change its shape. So how do the particles then move back? They're going to move along this fixed path that the string is now defining for them. All right, so let me write this out now. What does the guy see? Let's write this out. Sorry. Okay. So what he sees is, the person sees the strings he sees the wave is not moving in his frame, is not moving, and the shape of the string is fixed. Okay, so he sees the wave to be at rest and the shape of the string to be fixed. Okay, he sees the wave is not moving and the shape of the string is fixed. Okay? At the same time, he sees particles move backward along the string. Okay? At the same time, he sees particles move backward along the string. So this is what he's observing. Okay, so for him in this frame, the wave is not going to propagate. Wave is going to appear fixed, like a fixed path. And the particles, on the other hand, they are going to come behind. And how are they going to come behind? They have to stay. It's a particle of the string. String ka molecule hai. So string mein hi hona chahiye. So they'll be found to come behind along such a curve. Particle सीधा क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? Because particle का reality क्या है? Particle ऊपर नीचे जा रहा है, and ये आदमी आगे जा रहा है. तो आदमी को पार्टिकल का मोशन कैसा दिखना चाहिए? ऊपर नीचे मोशन और पीछे वाला मोशन. सो इट ऑल एड्स अप. ऊपर नीचे मोशन और पीछे वाला मोशन अल्टीमेटली ऐसा ही होगा. स्ट्रिंग का शेप फिक्स्ड है, तो पार्टिकल स्ट्रिंग के अलोंग ऐसा ऊपर नीचे होते हुए स्ट्रिंग के अलोंग पीछे आएगा. पार्टिकल स्ट्रिंग के अलोंग पीछे आएगा. नाउ विद दिस वी आर गोना जूम इन on the element at the top. Okay, let's use the element at the top. Okay, so let's use this element at the top, and let's say at this instant this seems to be an arc of curvature r. So let's take the radius of curvature to be r. Let's zoom in and let's divide this angle that I see it subtend. Let's in fact call that angle first as d theta. And then let's divide this angle into two parts. Okay. So I'm going to divide this angle into d theta by 2 and d theta by 2. All right. So let's say this is d theta by 2 and d theta by 2. Okay. Now let's say we of course know that this element, the element at the top, okay, when I focus on the element at the top, तो इसका अब up down motion नहीं है. The element at the top, उसका velocity seems to be in the backward direction only, because as you know, during an SHM, the particle at the extreme position stops. So this particle has no downward velocity. तो इस बंदे के फ्रेम में ये पार्टिकल बस सीधा पीछे आ रहा है. Okay, so that's the simplest element to consider. So we are picking that. उसका motion मस्त पीछे की तरफ है, velocity v, but we know it's moving along a curve. ठीक है. So circular motion का सवाल हो जाएगा. ये जो element है ये circular motion कर रहा है with velocity v and radius of curvature r. Okay. Now along the string, we have done a question like this in circular motion. Recently we revised that in properties of matter. Along the string, if you see the tension that's going to act on this element, okay, the tension is not going to be perfectly straight because the string has some bend. In fact, the tension is going to be in this direction along the tangent to the rope. And what is the angle that the tension is going to make with the horizontal? What does that angle seem to be? If you look carefully, it's actually not d theta. It is d theta by 2. Okay, ये vertical है. Radius vertical के साथ जो angle बनाता है, tangent वही angle horizontal के साथ बनाता है. Radius and vertical, tangent and horizontal. Okay, radius vertical के साथ जो बनाता है वही tangent horizontal के साथ बनाता है. You can in a way prove it with more effort if you like applying more effort. This is 90 minus d theta by 2. This is again 90. So this is again d theta by 2. You can work on it that way as well. But I like using this statement: radius with the vertical, tangent with the horizontal. Both will make same angles. तो ये angle अब यहाँ से d theta by 2 आ रहा है. Okay. Now let us balance forces. Okay. Let's balance forces in the downward direction. So we know that whatever element we are taking, this element has an acceleration in the downward direction. And that acceleration is our centripetal acceleration. So downward direction, it is going to have a centripetal acceleration because this element seems to be performing circular motion. It's like a sada circular motion question. You have done questions where a car goes over passes through a valley and then goes over a hill. And when it goes over a hill, if it goes with velocity v, then you can find its acceleration and then apply Newton's second law. वही चल रहा है यहाँ पे. This particle seems to be going over this hill, so it has a centripetal acceleration towards the center equal to v square by r. Now don't worry about how we are going to find r, because आगे के solving में r will cancel out. So don't worry about it. Okay. फिलहाल, let us define a term called as mass per unit length. So let the linear mass density of the rope be mu, refractive index wala mu. Okay, let the linear mass density of the rope be mu. है ना. म्यू क्या होता है? मास बाय लेंथ, लीनियर मास. लैम्डा इज अ सिंबल यू हैव यूज्ड बिफोर, राइट? कई बार लैम्डा यूज किया, इस बार म्यू यूज करेंगे थोड़ा. For some reason people use mu over here, but mu is basically mass per unit length. Okay, mass per unit length. So now वही जो तुम पहले lambda बोलते थे. Okay, so let the linear mass density of the rope be mu. This is mass per unit length. So now, according to this, what is going to be the mass of my element? It has to be mu into length. Very nice. Mu into length, and the length you can see is going to be the length of that small arc, जो हो जाएगा r d theta. The length of the arc is going to be r d theta. तो यहाँ से the mass is going to be mu times r times d theta. Okay, so I have the mass of my element ready. I have the acceleration of my element ready. What is my downward force on the element? Downward force on the element, centripetal force on the element. What is that? तो टेंशन का कंपोनेंट लेना पड़ेगा. तो देखो ध्यान से, अगर टेंशन का कंपोनेंट लोगे तो isn't it going to be टेंशन sin d theta by 2? कॉस के जगह कॉस वाला कंपोनेंट हॉरिजॉन्टल हो जाएगा. डाउनवर्ड कंपोनेंट के लिए साइन लेना पड़ेगा. एंड बिकॉज ऐसे दो टर्म है तो into 2 करेंगे. दिस इज द डाउनवर्ड फोर्स ऑन माय एलिमेंट. सो नाउ आई हैव डाउनवर्ड फोर्स, I have my mass, I have my downward acceleration. We're going to apply Newton's second law. Now we'll just apply Newton's second law, N2L, Newton's second law. And एक second, my battery is almost dead. एक second. Okay, तो न्यूटन सेकेंड लॉ लगा के हम बोलेंगे कि डाउनवर्ड फोर्स इज मास इनटू डाउनवर्ड एक्सेलरेशन. डाउनवर्ड फोर्स is mass into downward acceleration. Downward force is mass into downward acceleration. That's Newton's second law in the downward direction. Downward force is mass into downward acceleration. Yeah, centripetal force is mass into centripetal acceleration. Centripetal force 2t sine d theta by 2. Okay. In fact, by the way, since d theta is small, what can we do to this? If d theta is small, what will this become? V small, very small. So this entire thing is going to simplify to sine can approximately be written as the angle inside. Okay, so this is going to become t d theta by 2 into 2. And then you can see that 2 and 2 will also cancel out. And then your downward force simply becomes t d theta. Okay, so when you substitute that over here, downward force is t d theta. क्या हो जाएगा? T d theta is mass of the element, so mu r d theta into centripetal acceleration v square by r. तो इसमें देखो मस्त r भी कटेगा और d theta भी कटेगा, and you get tension as mu v square. And let's remember it in another form. You get tension by mu as v square, and therefore you get velocity as root tension by mu. All right, velocity is going to be our objective. So the wave velocity is going to be root tension by mu. Proving that velocity depends on the thickness of the string. It also depends on the tension in the string. Depends on both. If you have a heavier string, the wave will propagate slowly. If you have a tighter string, remember tighter string, starting mein bola tha, we said for this velocities are going to, we said कि wave propagation will depend on tension. जितना ज़्यादा tension, उतना desperate होगा for the wave to regain its natural shape. So that desperation is going to make particles come back and make the next particle move on. So this is how we derive our wave velocity. Okay, heading एक बार डाल देता हूँ. Derivation of wave velocity. ये थोड़ा सा अलग सा type of derivation है, थोड़ा हटके है. Seems fun. You just need to, of course, understand it. In fact, this is a lot like the question we discussed during properties of matter. Remember properties of matter I had mentioned, just look at HCV ka ek circular motion ka ek example I reminded you of. And I said a lot of questions are going to be like that. जहाँ पे there is some surface tension का भी वैसे एक question किया था, एक रस्सी को रखा and then we punctured it from the middle and then we had to find tension in the string. So ये derivation थोड़ा वैसा ही है. So in a way, like when you go through this derivation, that concept gets revised. कैसा tension का component 2t sin d theta by 2 होके t d theta हो जाता है. So that idea gets revised a bit. But apart from that, well, of course, in the exam, you're not going to sit and derive this. For a waves question, it's just good to understand where this comes from. In the exam, finally, we are going to use that formula. Okay, that formula is what is important to us. Okay, can I explain? Okay, so I'll let's clear any doubts we may have on this. So what have I written before F downward? What have I written before F downward? Before, if you're talking about this is my shortcut for Newton, 2 for second, L for law. So I am just saying that I'm applying Newton's second law in the downward direction, which means downward force is mass into downward acceleration. Okay? Yeah, no worries. And what else? Can I explain how the particle moves backwards? Yeah, that is fascinating. वो visualization होना चाहिए. Particle कैसे पीछे जा रहा है? तो यार फंडा ये है कि एक तो पहले ये बंदा मूव कर रहा है स्ट्रिंग के along और वेव भी ऐसा मूव कर रहा है आगे की तरफ. So when you match your velocities, it's like when two local trains are moving in the same direction with the same speed. You look from one local train at the other local train, you think both that local train and your local train are at rest. Right? Just by observing the two trains, it will seem both are at rest. It's only when you see trees and all outside going behind, you understand you're moving. So when you see the two local trains, when you see another thing going with the same velocity, you'll observe them to be at rest. This guy is observing a wave moving with the same velocity. So uske frame mein the wave will be at rest. Hill and valley आगे पीछे नहीं जाएगा. It'll be like frozen in time. It'll be like a snapshot. But इधर अगर मैं एक particle highlight करूंगा, तो as the guy moves ahead, he should observe the particle is coming towards him. तो वो एक चीज है. Wave का जो भी shape है, that's frozen. But the particle has to somehow come towards this guy. Now, can the particle really leave the string and fly in the air and come towards the guy? No, right? The particle is a molecule. It's a part of the string. At all instances, it should be in the string. It should be contained in the string. So the only way the particle is going to come behind towards this guy is if he's going to move along the string and come towards the guy. And when you put in all those things together, particle पीछे आना चाहिए. स्ट्रिंग का शेप फिक्स्ड होना चाहिए. पार्टिकल स्ट्रिंग के अंदर ही होना चाहिए. तो फिर पार्टिकल पीछे आएगा कैसे इस फ्रेम में? वो स्ट्रिंग के अलोंग एज अ रोलर कोस्टर और एज अ कार गोइंग थ्रू दिस हिल एंड द वैली, वैसा अलोंग द स्ट्रिंग ट्रैवल करके पीछे आएगा. डज दैट मेक सेंस? पार्टिकल रियलिटी में कर क्या रहा है? अप डाउन मोशन. And if I go forward, I also see the particle go behind. So what will be a combination of backward motion and up down motion? ये particle का actual motion है. It's coming behind in this frame and is moving up and down because it's oscillating. तो इनका combination, doesn't it seem like इनका combination ऐसा होगा? Up down भी हो रहा है और पीछे भी आ रहा है. So everything seems to add up. It's going up and down. It's coming behind as well. In fact, what it really is going to do is it's going to move along this path. Okay. So one simple way of deriving the wave velocity is by focusing on the particle at the top. You focus on the particle at the top. That particle is not moving up and down. At extreme position पे, the extreme position पे वो momentarily rest पे रहता है ना, rest पे रहता है. तो फिर बंदे के फ्रेम में वो पीछे वेलोसिटी v से आ रहा है और कोई पार्टिकल का एक वर्टिकल वेलोसिटी भी होगा, एक बैकवर्ड वेलोसिटी भी होगा. इस पार्टिकल का बंदे के फ्रेम में पीछे की तरफ v वेलोसिटी है. तो बिकॉज इसका पीछे की तरफ v वेलोसिटी है एंड बिकॉज इट अपीयर्स टू बी एट रेस्ट, नहीं, बिकॉज उसका पीछे की तरफ v वेलोसिटी है, वी हैव पिक्ड दैट पार्टिकल. वो ऐसा सर्कुलर मोशन कर रहा था. At this instant, it seems to be going along a curved arc with velocity v. Okay. If this would have been a circular motion question, you could have found normal force on the car by the road. ऐसे सब questions किया है. This time, instead of normal force and gravity playing a role, this is a very small element, so gravity is negligible. Tension is what is actually playing a role in making the particle have a centripetal acceleration. The same idea, we just use tension over here. Did everyone get it now? Okay. All right, cool. So let's end things over here. I'll maybe add a few questions. Homework. One thing I would just want to mention over here as a disclaimer. Remember, this is the velocity with respect to the string. V is the wave velocity with respect to the string. This is the wave velocity with respect to the string. मतलब इसके ऊपर अगर string और move करेगा ना, तो फिर वेव और भी तेजी से मूव करेगा. ये स्ट्रिंग के रिस्पेक्ट में वेलोसिटी है. स्ट्रिंग स्टेशनरी है तो ये वेलोसिटी है. ओके, cool, that's it. I think 6:45 तक ही था ना क्लास, if I'm not wrong. Those who are saying, do we need to memorize all the formulas on this? You need to. These are actually the same wave equation. You should be able to understand how one is converted to the other. You should be able to understand this. These two you should memorize, and this you should memorize. अगर ये दो memorize किया ना, then you don't really need this one. Direction ये फंडे से निकाल दो, and omega and k इस फॉर्मूला से निकाल दो. we'll do some ये तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ ये डिराइव किया है, इस पे और प्रैक्टिस और क्वेश्चंस है ना. we'll strengthen this idea in the next class. Yeah, sure. किसमें 18 में बताना है what to memorize? 18 में, so I would say memorize this and this, the yellow one, the green ones and the yellow one. Okay. जैसे ही तुमने ऑपोजिट साइंस देख लिया, डायरेक्शन पॉजिटिव होगा. जैसे ही सेम साइन दिख गया, डायरेक्शन नेगेटिव होगा. तो डायरेक्शन को वहां से निकाल दो और बाकी ये फॉर्मूला याद कर लो, बिकॉज एनीवेज विद दिस you have, once you have omega and k, you have then these equations to find velocity. यहाँ पे in this page almost everything is important, you know? All these equations जो भी box के they're all important in this page. So omega k निकाल दिए तो velocity आ ही जाएगा. बस सवाल ये था कि velocity का direction क्या होगा. तो for that ये मैंने yellow में highlight किया. Opposite signs, positive x, same sign negative x. Try out your HCE questions. It may look in the beginning like a lot of formulas. Just keep your book open and attempt those HCV questions that I'll give you. And उसके बाद थोड़ा confidence आ जाएगा what to use where and how they all relate with each other. ठीक है? Cool. We'll continue in the next class and post your homework as well. Yes. If you've done only the HCV, that's more than enough. You don't see, honestly, you'll not have time to do two things. You can either do the HCV or you can do the booklet. You won't have time to do both. Maybe later while revising, you can try one exercise of the booklet while revising. If you are confident you remember everything from the HCV and there is nothing more to learn, agar wo stage hai ki agar if you feel there's nothing more to learn, then you can maybe try one more exercise from the booklet or something like that. But don't add that as a list to do right now itself. Right now, HCV is more than enough to get some confidence on the concepts that are in this chapter, that are in any chapter. एक second, Yash, I didn't get that question. अच्छा, okay. तू बोल रहा है what after solving what all I would note, how I would analyze it, वो पूछ रहा है क्या? Okay. So actually, see, what I would do is immediately, I mean, after solving the HCV or after solving any book, I would just Aditya, that's on you, based on your level. If you're like, if you're revising for the mains exam, maybe you can do level 1, where speed matters. You can pick बाद में 30 questions उठाओ बुकलेट से, टाइम डाल दो. एनीवेज बुकलेट का जंबल्ड होता है, टाइम डाल दो एंड एज एन एग्जाम दे दो, मेंस एग्जाम की तरह दे सकते हो. फिर एनालाइज कर सकते हो किधर क्या गया गलत, क्या सीखना है. एंड इफ यू वांट टू गिव इट preparing for the advanced exam, then maybe you can pick or maybe little bit more difficult exercise like level 3 or level 4, वैसा कुछ उठा के ट्राई कर सकते हो. You have freedom. Try to see what works well for you. No decision is right or wrong. It's all anything could work for you. Yash, तो एक बार मैं once I categorize, like once I say कि okay, these questions belong to the same category, then so maybe I make a category list at the back of the HCV. So I will say, okay, I will just give maybe a symbol. I'll say, okay, 1 is for center of mass formula based questions. 2 is for conservation of linear momentum. Yes, I'll make a list. 3 is for angular collision. So I'm making that list, and accordingly, sometimes I just so if I categorize it that way, then maybe I'll just put that symbol in front of a question. एक तो उसमें categorization practice हो रहा है, वो बहुत एक important चीज है. Understanding with a very clear mind after solving the HCV, we are now going through the questions again, and we are now identifying, reading the question itself, we are identifying, अच्छा ये यही concept है, ये इसी कंसेप्ट पे बेस्ड है, या ये इन दो कंसेप्ट से बेस्ड है ना. So that doing that itself is a good skill development of reading the question and understanding what's going on. But then after that, that also helps during revision. So I'll just maybe mark what's there, and then it'll help during revision. I will, out of those categories, then I will just maybe put a star mark over the question I think is the best from that category, which I should just probably focus on during revision. So I'm already, while solving the HCV, I'm making my life simple when I decide to revise. Apart from that, sometimes if I learned something really new, which I don't think my teacher taught me, and I don't think is there in the HCV, it's not written in a place I normally revise from. If I learn something new in a question, then I'm going to maybe, write that. मान लो मैंने कुछ formula, खुद का एक formula derive किया, which seems to be correct. So I'm going to write that formula next to that question. So those are some things I do. All right. Welcome. Yeah, I would say, you can see the solved examples of, I think मैंने HCV का तो देखा, HCV का काफी अच्छा होता है, solved examples कम होता है, but you can have a look at them. As you're doing the exercise, you can maybe do the solved examples as well, post the chapter. So there's no harm in having a look at the HCV solved examples. You can, if you prefer the booklet solved examples, you can do that as well. It's a matter of preference. I know for a fact that during my time, I liked DC Pandey solved examples. DC Pandey ke solved examples, I found them to be, first of all, they are more in number. So in a way that gives you a full feel of the chapter. So if you feel you have a backlog in some chapter जो ज़्यादा समझ में आया ही नहीं, ठीक है, and then my advice would be do solved examples from a book like the DC Pandey, which is very structured. So even if you've not paid attention class, you can easily cover up by doing those solved examples. You get a nice idea of the chapter. Almost everything I learned, pure rolling and all that, I had not paid attention in class during my time. And actually then later when I started studying, I learned it from DC Pandey's solved examples. From there, I got the idea. And then from there, getting the idea, then I solved my HCV. DC Pandey objective, DC Pandey के individual books आते हैं. Mechanics 1, Mechanics 2. I don't know if it's specifically an objective book. There are objective questions in it. There are subjective questions also in it. So DC Pandey, Mechanics 1, Mechanics 2, those books are quite good. And पूरा अच्छा नहीं तो whole physics वाला पता नहीं, मैंने वो देखा नहीं है. Whole physics, I don't know. I mean, don't go for that. I don't know what is the idea behind that book. It could just be as a marketing gimmick. It could be the same thing. Mains wale students, they don't want subjective papers. They'll only buy a book which has objective questions. So maybe it's like marketing gimmick ho sakta hai. The individual books are quite nice. Even if you have the objective approach, fair enough. Usme bhi problem nahi hai. Jo book hai, DC Pandey as a standard, you can try the solved examples for any concept you are weak in. ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि पूरा हर चैप्टर का थ्रू एंड थ्रू करना ही है, but let's say you are weak in pure rolling, तो फिर pure rolling के solved examples, DC Pandey categorizes it so well. You'll find 5, 6, 7 solved examples. You can try those. You'll get a gist of pure rolling. Let's say you're weak in static friction, you can then attempt uske solved examples. So that's the advantage with that kind of structured book. पूरा करने का जरूरत नहीं है, but you can, जो concept weak लग रहा है ना, वो वहां से कर सकते हैं. Welcome. Bye.